what do you hope a brand new realtor who's just getting started and doesn't really know what they're doing, what do you hope this book does for them?
I've seen so many mistakes agents make on social media.
What's a big one?
They use,
But I think that's become the power of social media, is where you can you put yourself out there and you create opportunities, and you don't wait for these opportunities to show up at your door. You kind of you have to make an effort.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been telling a lot of people recently too, is you're gonna get out of it what you put into it. So if you're just kind of I'm just gonna share a couple of like corporate-y posts once a month, that's what you're gonna get. Maybe like once a year you'll have somebody being like, oh cool, like that was a really cool Veterans Day post that you made. That was a copy and paste.
A lot of thought went into that one.
Yeah. But if you're showing up every day with video and talking to people, it doesn't have to be professional video either. I mean, like what you just did right now with the stories.
Yeah.
You've already posted, you're going to post 1 or 2 stories out of this experience.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's 1 or 2 more posts than most people are going to be doing from your office this day,
Yeah.
And you knock 2 of them out in 5 seconds.
I feel like if you don't get it done like then
it
you're
never
not
gets
gonna,
done.
Yeah. And it's so funny because I'll help agents all the time. And I'm like, well, I didn't see anything that you posted today. Oh, I'm going to get to it. And they never do.
I say the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'll get to it. I have a library right now of like, I got to start dripping these out. So like shoots that I've been at, this and that. But yeah, you have to just do it right away. It has to be a habit. It has to be a muscle that you just work out. And, but and I don't say any of this to complain, because I think there's a lot of people that have a lot going on. Everyone's busy. Everyone has a learning curve that's very different.
Mm-hmm.
And my role is to kind of help identify who I'm working with, what the realistic goal should be, and kind of be like a cheerleader, like an accouability coach at that, to just make sure that they get, what they say they're going to do, that they're going to do it.
And we need that for sure.
And in a lot of different houses, not just marketing. I'm imagining. I mean, you're a realtor, right? And you've been a realtor for how long now? For
24 years.
24 years.
25 next year.
That's amazing.
That's crazy.
So 25 years. I'm not going to say your age because I already know your age here. But but you've been a realtor for about half your life, we can say.
Yes, I have.
And so you've seen that, this accountability that we were talking about, it's not just for marketing and social media. It's got to be everywhere. I imagine, like your financing, your operations, where you get your business from, how you treat your clients. You have to be accountable to so many different things and so many different people, it seems like, and having the right systems in place.
Yeah, it's a tough industry, I mean, I see so many people come and go, and I just feel so badly for them when they gave it their all. But then I'm like, did you really give it your all? And that's kind of why I created that book, Mastering Your Circus, to really help them and guide them. And because, you get lost sometimes and you get caught up in family or this or that, or, and then you're like, are you treating this like a business? Are you treating your business like a true business?
And I imagine a lot of realtors, and I mean a lot of other people that own businesses, I mean, they don't really treat it like a business. They treat it like a job.
Yeah.
Right? Like you clock in, you clock out, you might do this, you might do that.
Yeah.
And I can imagine that's a big mistake for realtors to make.
Yeah. So I always tell people, like, treat it like if you were to have a clothing boutique. Do you just work in your clothing boutique for 1 hour? No, you're going to go in there all day, and you're going to, from 9 to 4, 9 to 6, I mean, you can kind of come and go from it all, but I always try to tell people that, like, just think about like that. Think about running your business like a boutique.
Wow. And so, if you own your boutique, I mean, you're going to get in there early. You're going to make sure the clothes looks perfect. You're going to, look at what happened the night before, and you got to deal with that before the customers come in. Yeah. It's a full day grind.
And market your boutique.
Putting the balloons out. You're going to be letting everyone around you know what you do.
Yeah.
You're going to tell people to come into your business. That's how it is with realtors. You've been in the industry for over 2 decades now. How has marketing changed over the last 20 years for realtors?
A lot. I mean, it's if you don't have a good marketing campaign, marketing routine,
both for listings and for yourself, right?
Yes.
I mean, I want to kind of talk about both.
Yeah.
So let's start with like listings, for example.
Yeah, for listings, social media has helped out a lot. I mean, I'm just saying videos. I mean, we have to get in front of the videos. Now we have to be creative in
the videos.
Yeah, in our videos. And I mean, I'm seeing some crazy stuff out there that some agents are coming up with, and I'm like, man, I need to step step up my
There's a
game.
really cool one that I just saw. You know, like when you're driving down the highway and you see that blow up man who's like,
Oh, yeah.
that one. This guy, I think it was in California, did one where he put him in like really funny places throughout the house
Oh,
and did a house tour with like
yeah.
the guy. You know, he
I
would like
think,
pop up and then like
yeah.
in the pool and like he was like hung over on the pool. You know, like it was
Yeah.
really funny and super creative too.
Yeah.
And so you need your listing videos, right?
Yeah, listing videos. And you have to be super creative. I mean, and if you don't, you just can't throw out something
It's not
out
enough to
there
just be
and
like, here's the
that's
kitchen.
not.
Here's this. There's another funny one is like this. He's a younger guy, and it's how he's I think attracting a lot of business is he like runs through the house.
Oh,
So he's
yeah.
like, here's the living room, here's the kitchen, and he's
Uh-huh.
you know, I'm gonna go upstairs now,
I
and
think I've
it's
seen that guy.
so funny.
Yeah.
And it's very creative, and it
Yeah.
gets the house marketed, and you know the client's probably super happy that like, cool, you made this video for me and it got 500,000 views, so we're definitely gonna get really good offers because I've got a lot of eyeballs.
Yeah, it's almost a full-time job trying to come up with something for your business. I mean, just yesterday I was doing a walkthrough and they had all of their boxes labeled like colored labeled. Like they had colored tape on all the stuff in the kitchen was green, all the stuff in the study was going to be blue, and they had a color code, you know, and everything. And I was like, that's genius. Like I need to probably tell my clients to do something
Yeah.
like that. Like sometimes I learn from other sellers, you know, that are packing up and ready to go, and I'm like, this is perfect. This is so neat, so organized, and
Wow.
it was fantastic. And I was like, I'm gonna have to use this as some sort of content for my
Yeah.
social media. And I asked the seller, and he was like, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
He goes,
awesome.
here's the color chart, and I was like, oh wow, this is even better. So
That's awesome.
I just kind of scratched out, you know, his wife's name and his
Yeah,
name.
yeah,
So
exactly.
anyway, but yeah, trying to come up with some.
But you got your listing videos. What else do you have to do then
Yeah.
for you know, compared to, you know, like 25 years ago, you know, 24 years ago, right? Because you're almost 25. Like when you were going to list a house, like what was the checklist like then?
I mean, first of all, we were on. I mean, we didn't have obviously social media. I don't even know if MySpace was around.
It wasn't. Yeah.
When I first started. And so, I mean, we just had to do open houses, and we just had to, you know, talk to other agents to come to our open houses and
So
sign.
a lot of calls and being
calls.
like, hey, bring your buyers. You know, I got this seller here, or I got this
Yeah.
listing here.
I
Signs,
did.
obviously, right? Like you had to put up signs
Yeah,
all over the place, which you
signs,
still
open
do.
houses,
Mhm.
Publisher. I think I was using Publisher a lot, you know, and that's how I kind of created my marketing postcards and, you
Postcards, you'd
know,
have to mail postcards.
yep, we don't, yeah. So everything is so different. Now we have Canva. Now we have QR codes. Now we
Wild,
have,
right?
you know, social media. I mean, all the
You
different
can do drone
platforms.
shots of your houses now. You
Drone
know, you can.
shots.
It's
A
amazing.
lot of money.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
You know, so I try to do everything with my iPhone, but you know, I do get some professional, you know, shots
Yeah.
done
For
for
sometimes it's worth it for
photography.
sure.
Oh, for sure. I've seen so many mistakes agents make on social media and on the MLS. I'm like, what? They just
What's a
use
big one?
their
What's a big
own.
one?
Like they use
Use
their
their
own phone, and it's not even like an iPhone, and they're little bitty pictures, and you're trying, you know,
Yeah.
you want to do your best whenever you're representing your sellers and you have a listing. You want the best photos on there. There's all these photos. You can see the dog in the background or on the couch or the kid playing in the mirror. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
it's like it's not very professional
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah. No,
Like,
there's
hire
funny
a
ones. There's funny
photographer.
ones that I've seen where it's like, you know, amazing backyard, and then the pictures of the backyard are not great pictures
Yeah.
of the backyard.
Yeah.
And so it's very misleading, and it also, you know, it shows you as a realtor, right? Like,
Yeah.
if I'm going to make these big promises and not deliver, then what's the client experience going to be like?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're going to say best backyard in all of DFW, like it better be the best backyard DFW, and the pictures better make it look like the best backyard,
Really.
you know?
Really.
So I've seen a lot of that, just like under promise or over promise and under deliver on the pictures.
Yeah. Yeah, pictures are very important. Now video, now we have to, you know, do video more. You know, that's something I kind of struggle with too, and how to just be, you know, on TV. I feel like all the time.
But
And
you
I'm
at
like,
least post a lot, and that's really
Yeah.
good. That's
Yeah.
really good, because I've seen a lot where, you know, where people say, "Oh, I don't really know what I'm doing," but it's like you're posting once a month,
Yeah.
so you don't have enough data to say, "I don't know what I'm doing." You
I
know
mean,
what
I post all the
You
time.
post a lot,
I mean, I
which is
post
awesome.
a lot in my story.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm posting a lot, and you know, different platforms. Like I share with different people. Like, so So when I'm on Instagram, I share different things on Instagram than I do on Facebook. So Instagrams, I do more reels and
Mm-hmm.
fun stuff, I feel like. And then on Facebook, I genuinely just kind of, just put something out there like, here's my new listing and all the
Mm-hmm.
pictures and stuff like that. But then I turn it into kind of more fun on Instagram. And I feel like, the younger generation is on Instagram. So I'm trying to hit both because I'm kind of right there in the
Yeah.
middle. I'm like, I'm not old and I'm not young. I'm kind of like right there in the middle.
Yeah.
And so, I have to that's why I have to go to different
Yeah.
platforms, so
Yeah. I think that's a great way to think about it, where you kind of segment your content with who you're talking to, what kind of impact that's going to make.
Yeah. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
I
I
like
can tell. I can tell. And
social media. I like coming up with it. I coming up with different things. I like it's fun for me because real estate is not that fun. I mean, I'm not going to
do you
sit
talk
there.
about that in your book about like real estate is
I
not?
think so.
Yeah.
I talk about like it's not fun. It's hard. It's a challenge. It's very challenging, I see a lot of people, try their best and they just don't make it. And that's one
Why
of
do
the
you think that
reasons.
is? Why do you think that is? Because I know like effort. Everyone you have to try no matter what. I mean,
Yeah.
business owner as well. The amount of effort you put into it is going to be what you get out of it.
Yeah.
But I've also learned that you can be putting a lot of effort into things, and you're putting your effort into the wrong things.
Yeah.
Like you wasted 6 months doing this. You wasted 6 months, and you're no further ahead. But you worked really hard. Is there something that like that with real estate too, where you see realtors put their eggs in the wrong basket, put their effort into the wrong things?
Sometimes. I mean, there's a 87% failure rate with realtors.
Within how many years?
I think it's like a year.
No way.
I mean, yeah, it's really
that's like Stanford level. Like you don't make it. Acceptance rate. I think Stanford's like 7%, 6%.
Yeah.
That's close to that. That's crazy.
I don't know exactly if it's a year or not, but yeah, 87% failure rate for realtors. And it's sad
so 13%
because
13% make it.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad. And I feel like right now, only the strong is going to survive. I mean, this market is not a fun market right now. I mean, the interest rates are really high. I mean, I just closed, on my closing just recently, and it was like they were almost at 7%. And I was just like, wow, these rates are getting out of control. I mean, we're used to like being in the fives, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
2 to 3 not really gonna happen again.
2 or 3, yeah, that's like
hashtag
wow.
Blessed over here.
Yeah, if you purchased a couple years ago, then
2020, we timed it perfectly.
Yeah,
we're not leaving our house.
So did we. But
that's not gonna happen again. But yeah, I mean the like rates and things like that, but are definitely it's a crazy market.
Yeah.
And like you said, only the strong are going to survive. The strong realtors. I mean, even the loan officers too are going to survive. This market. And so, what do you think new realtors are wasting their time on?
Well, first of all, I don't know if they're wasting their time. They might just not know really what to do. And that's one of the reasons why I wrote this book. So this is a perfect guide for them. It's a perfect guide for seasoned agents as well.
I need to shake it up.
Because every chapter is something different. Chapter 1, or chapter 3, it starts at building your, routines and habits. Like what good routines and habits do you have? And then it goes into, marketing. What marketing do you have? And what are you sending out to your database? Do you have a database? Put together a database, And so that's, structure right there. And so I think new agents need that because they don't know what they're doing, and it's a different industry than I'm sure that they're used to being in. And I think that they need to focus on leads and lead generation because they don't have anything yet, because like I've been in the business for, like I said, 24 years, and I have all these people that I've worked with in the past, and I went to high school here, I went to college here,
and then they have kids, and their kids are now older. Whatever that story is, that's gonna be your story in a few years, right? Your clients grow with you.
It's so funny because this is a funny story, but I worked at Spring Creek Barbecue, and I remember one of my girlfriends, she was pregnant working with me at Spring Creek, and then I ended up, and now fast forward, her daughter's 28 years old, and I just sold them one a couple years ago.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I was like, this is so crazy. Now it's really starting
full
to
circle
work.
Coming around. Yeah, and then and what you said though, that's so true. Where you've been in the business enough, enough people, you've worked with enough people where I'm not saying like you don't have to try hard, but they'll bring you business. If you
Yeah.
treated them right, if you respect them, if you reach out to them every once in a while, if you're nice to them, if you stay in touch with them, they'll bring you business.
It's really hard when someone comes in from another state and is like wants to pick up the pieces and be like, "All right, I'm just going to go ahead and start real estate. I don't know this town. I don't know anybody here." I mean, though that's so challenging. Like
Yep.
that is so daunting to me. I was like, I don't think I could ever
Yeah.
do that, because I have such a network here, with my with everybody, with my real estate friends, with my friends from high school, college, family,
Right.
everybody here, and that's feeding me business and giving me referrals. So I'm really on a referral based business right now, and I like it and I prefer it like that. And
No,
so
relationships, it's great.
yeah,
Hmm.
someone was like, "Well, you don't do any relocation with your company," and I was like, "No, really, I don't. I don't really want to work with anybody that I don't know or trust because then they don't trust me, and then it's just I don't know. I'm just glad that I'm at that level
Yeah.
because not everyone is at that
Right.
level, and it's kind of like I'm retired a little bit, but I'm just working with the people that I
You
want to
want to
work
work
with.
with. Yeah. That's awesome. That's a great place to be at in both in life and business, I imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, we're definitely in a place, me, where I'm like kind of growing my thing, and we're having to prospect and all that, and but it's teaching me a lot about building relationships and developing relationships. I mean, some of my best relationships that I've built have come from cold DMs on
yeah,
Instagram.
yeah,
That's how I met you.
yeah,
Actually, was a
yeah,
cold DM. I mean, I got a referral from a cold DM, so same thing. But yeah,
yeah,
it was a cold meeting, you know.
yeah.
But it's definitely taught me the importance of relationships and building those relationships, and over time how they can grow and prosper for you.
Yeah, and building relationships is like the number one thing in real estate. You have to build and maintain those relationships. Like I was telling you, I mean, I've had friends from Spring Creek Barbecue that I'm still working with. I just actually just sold her a house this year,
Wow.
and so crazy. And then I had to work at Holly and Moe during 2008 when the market was crazy. I actually talk about the struggles that I went through in real estate in the challenge part of my book and how I had to go work at, had to go back to cocktailing. Like I had to go back to something to make some money. I made $16,000 in 2008. I was like,
Wow.
what do I need? I had to do something. And so I talk about that. I talk about that in my book as well, and how I met so many people during that 9 months that I had to work at Holly and Moe. Holly and Moe was like Mike Madonna and Brett Hull's place.
Wow.
Not only did I get to meet all the Stars players, which was amazing, but I got a lot of business from passing out my cards to those people that were coming in for drinks.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I encourage people to have another little part-time job during real estate because you always have to go meet people.
Yep.
Meet people everywhere you go, and it's that's where you get your business. You can't just sit home and just
Yeah, and
think,
wonder.
oh,
Oh, yep.
it's gonna come to me
Yep.
today.
Yep.
So
And I imagine that's true. That's especially hard for realtors to be in that mindset and then be wrong about it. That's got to be a challenge. That's got to
yeah.
be tough for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for your book, I know you spent a lot of time writing it and planning it out, and now you're able to take it out into the road and go to trainings and things like that, and give talks about it. What's the big takeaway for the book that you want
I
people to
l
have?
I love it. I mean, everyone has been saying what a good book it is. They're like, "Lisa, that is such a great book." Like, I have learned a lot of things, and a lot of things I already knew, but I needed to put back into my business. It's kinda like going back to the basics, and what you need to be doing, and so every chapter in there is very a and it's very quick. It's a quick read. So you could read it in like an hour and a half if you're a
Yeah.
fast reader.
Awesome.
And then you take notes. Every chapter, I have a little space for you to write notes in, like about marketing. Okay, do I have my photos? Do I have my lifestyle photos? Do I have my magazines? What magazines am I sending out? Do I have QR codes? What do I need my QR codes to look like? And how can I implement those into my listings? So I give them them so many ideas. I mean, they're like blown away after my hour workshop. They're like, wow, I need to start doing some things. I'm like, what? Okay, right now we're into the holiday season. Do you have a pie party coming up? Do you
Right.
have, what are you doing with your clients? Like some of my agents in my office, they're already doing their pie parties. I'm doing a gobble till you wobble party at my house, which this is my like 8th or ninth annual
That's
gobble till you
awesome.
wobble
Yeah.
party, where I have my clients, I have my friends and my neighbors all come over, and we just have a good time. And then, what are you doing for Christmas? What do you do for Christmas and your Christmas cards? What does your 2025 look like? Some agents haven't even thought about their
Yeah, they're
2025
just trying to
yet.
get to the end of
They're
November,
like, "I'm just trying to
Yeah.
get through this year."
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, you have to be prepared, and you have to be a couple months, prepared at all times. I mean, I had a listing, call the other day. Someone called me for a listing, one of my girlfriends referred her to me, and, it was, like, at 1:00, and she goes, "Well, I'm going out of town tomorrow, and I won't be back until Friday, so I was really wanting to talk to you today." And I said, "Well, I have 3:00 available." And I had already been, I
Yeah.
prepared for a listing, listing paperwork. So I put a listing packet together in like 2 seconds because I had it all printed out. And I went on that listing appointment and I got it. So, it's
Wow.
like you have to be prepared. Like if someone didn't
You
have
gotta be on
listing,
call.
yeah,
Yeah.
like then they would have had missed that. Someone else maybe would have gotten that listing. So always be prepared. And that's what I say in my book a million times. I feel like
Always
always
be
be
prepared.
prepared
Wow.
for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody can call you up and say, "Hey, tomorrow I need you to come over here. I want to start looking for some homes like this weekend." That happens a lot. And you're like, "Well, I'm going to be out of town." Like it's hard to
Yeah. Well,
plan.
yeah, for sure. That's got to be fun. Like you have a vacation plan and then you get like this massive listing call to be like, oh.
Always happens. Every time. It's like the busiest time is when you're out of town.
Yeah.
Like just like a couple weeks ago, my husband and I we went to Austin, and I was in option period. It ended at 5:00 that day, and then someone else called me and was like, "Hey, can I start looking at some homes this weekend?" I was like, "I just got down to Austin." Like, I can't show you this weekend. And then you have to kind of line it up with someone else. You have to
Yeah.
find someone to do your open houses. So yeah, trying to travel and do work in real estate is tough.
Yeah. I've heard it many times where it's like when I leave, that's when it gets really busy. So it's like people just
Always.
have their radar of, okay, no, she's going to be busy this weekend. We're going to
Yeah.
call her
So
right
if
now.
you're super slow, go out of town.
Go on a trip. Yep.
Go out of
Yep.
town.
That's awesome. For this book, I know you said it's written for it's written for veterans, it's written for people in the middle. It's kind of written for everybody, but a brand new realtor, let's focus on them to kind of wrap this up. What do you hope a brand new realtor who's just getting started and doesn't really know what they're doing and just got into it and they're into it and they're kind of like, it's kind of all over the place. What do you hope this book does for them?
Yeah. Well, I hope it prepares them for everything. I mean, it's a true guide to everything that you need to be doing in real estate and being very creative. A lot of agents aren't creative, and so they need help and they need guidance. And so I feel like this book gives you so much of that. I mean, I'm guiding you through your marketing, your, meeting new people, your database, your challenges. I'm helping out with a lot of different things. And I mean, I wish there was a book like that when I started
Yeah.
out, especially in the social media part where so many agents struggle because they don't know what to put out. They don't know what content to do or what's funny or how to act or how to do a video or,
Yep.
and feeling comfortable. So I give so many tricks and tips in my book that will help them. Hopefully help them succeed and stay in the business longer than a year,
Right. Not become one of those 87%, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so sad, and I've seen it so many times, and I've been a mentor, and, I just see it all the time, and I wanna help them, and, now that I've been teaching a lot, I've, that's why I created this book, and every class that I taught is in here. So I have about 10 chapters of 10 different classes that I've
Nice.
taught in there. So I made it easy, and I put the circus theme to it to have a little whimsical,
Yeah.
have a little fun
Yeah.
with it. And I enjoy my workshops, and they're fun. I'll pass out a little clown nose because I want to try to feel the audience.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, who are my clowns out here? And then now I know which ones to pick on,
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
it's
Awesome.
fun.
That's good to hear. And it's good to hear that you're, putting yourself out there on social media, putting yourself out there with this book, meeting new people, and hopefully making an impact in your industry.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I love this. I love real estate. I love the industry. I love just everything about it. But, trying to help those agents, we all started out once, so I just want to give back and try to help them. I don't think of them as like competition to me.
Yeah, no, there's plenty. There's 8 million people here. There's
Yeah.
plenty
And
of,
so I'm like, if I can help out in any way, like that's where my heart is.
Awesome. Well, we'll wrap up with that. I think that was a great ending. Thank you. Thanks so much for sitting
Yay.
with me. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.
Sweet.